Shalom, giving all praises to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Yeshem, Yahweh Shai by Yeshem, or Kodash. What I said was Yahweh, which means He is by Yeshem in the name Yahweh Shai. Who the word English calls Jesus, his name is Yahweh Shai, which means He delivers, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule well. Many salutations to Yakianis told in His truth. I was just looking at a brief conversation that the bros was having about the P. Diddy trial and the wickedness that was coming out. Um, and as I was reading, Micah, um, the 6th chapter, it dawned on me that, you know, the problem that we see in the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American community is something that's not necessarily economic. Now, don't get it twisted. So-called black and brown people, you know, are disproportionately relegated to the hood. But yet and still you have, certain areas in which, these people, the Israelites, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, are doing substantially well. You got areas down here in Texas, but you got, you know, the northern tribe and the southern tribe, man, living very good, very good out here, man. I'm talking about living large. And it's like that in other areas too. In Virginia, you go out there to Virginia, the DC area, some places in California, in Florida, you know. So our people, you know, they aren't doing bad. There's a lot of our people aren't doing this, drastically bad, as it's painted. But the ones that are in power, you know, they are under a very wicked vibration or a way that's not of the Bible, okay? And then taking on these other philosophies, our people have become very decadent. And this is a problem that has always been with the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel has always um, broken the law, statute, commandments, and followed after the ways of the heathen, turning themselves into, monsters. This is what we see with P. Diddy, with his power that he had. He ruled it with extortion and with violence. And this is a problem, again, that we've always seen in the nation of Israel. Now, this is Micah 6 and 12. I'm going to read this in there. Actually, I'm going to get the NIV for this one. Okay. Let's see here. Comparisons. Read this in NIV. It says, Micah 6 and 12. Your rich people are violent. Your inhabitants are liars, and their tongues speak deceitfully. And this is our people from the top on down. Our people, are very violent. Look what, this guy, P. Diddy was doing, man. This guy was a bisexual rapist, bro. This dude was all over the place, doing all types of nakedness, wickedness, excuse me. Right? All types of madness. And this guy was a millionaire, right? Multi-millionaire. Allegedly, he paid $5 million for a video of Cassidy and himself doing lewdness with a male prostitute. $5 million, right? And this woman Cassidy, she's no better because she stayed around and she actually, um, partook in the lewdness according to, what's coming out. She allowed this, some pretty wicked things to be done unto her. She was basically a temple harlot. You know what I'm saying? See, when our people begin to worship other gods, they uh, worship, like I always like to bring out these various fertility cults that worship the act of sex, and which is planted. Well, I should say, well, that's where feminism came out of, not plantanism, but that's where feminism came out of, because it worshiping goddesses and sexual reproduction, right? So they worship the womb, and in doing so, in order for you to worship these various goddesses, these idols, you have to commit lewd sexual acts. And now, what we see going on, we see that the music industry, the entertainment industry, is deep in satanic worship or occult like worship, and it's coming out more and more. And that way, that um, lewdness is something that we see from the top all the way down to the bottom. Okay, in the nation of Israel, not only you have guys like P Diddy doing lewdness, but you have the everyday person into madness, man. The average woman out there, so-called black woman, Latino woman, by the time she's 20, she got more than 20 bodies. You find a girl that's 30 and she only had sex with 10 men, and you know what I'm saying, and you got you a steal. Not factoring the other stuff she done did, but just 10 bodies. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's a steal, man. And that's a goddamn shame, bro. That's a damn shame. And the reason why is because from the top all the way down to the bottom, our people worship sex, man. Okay? So this thing of ours is bigger than a black uprising, really black uprising, right? Saving community, gimmick. It's bigger than that, because we're not about to saving that so-called community. We're only about saving the elect, and the elect are going to wake up from different aspects of life. You got brothers that been in college, you got brothers that been in jail, you got brothers that been in the street, you got brothers that been in the midst of millionaires, right? Why is that? Because the Most High has called different people out of their life, out of this world, to follow Him. Okay, but the majority of our people, they under the world's vibration, right? And they have a very demented mindset. Okay, very impulsive, over sexualized, combative, prideful mindset from the top all the way down to the bottom. And again, I got like P Diddy, Diddy, is a hyperbole of the so-called black culture. A hyperbole is like an overstatement, if you will. Okay, or overstatement of expression. All right. Now, this is Isaiah 1 and 20 and 23. I'm gonna read this in NLT. Your leaders are rebels, the companions of thieves. All of them love bribes and demand payoffs, and they refuse to defend the cause of the orphans, or fight for the rights of widows. Right. So our people, those that have make it, they ain't looking back at the hood. You know what I'm saying? They ain't giving back. They stuck on Jake. They rather spend $250K on a necklace than to help out all people, which rightfully so. Hey, that's your money, right? But in order for them to get this money, they have lied. These entertainers have lied to the people, and even these football players have lied to the people, right? By selling them a dream and by selling them black culture, right? They have a lot of people. A lot of these entertainers have blood on their hand. People like Sexy Red, teaching these kids debauchery, right? And she's just one. Cardi B, Little Kim was really popped off this lewdness, right? All these people have exploited the people by selling them wickedness and capitalizing off of it, bro. I forget this one NFL player, this guy, with his influence, he's selling male nail polish, man. Big ass nigga, with some shoulder pads on, putting on some nail polish, flapping his fingers up and down, trying to get them hoes dry before kickoff. And this is what our people listen to. It's crazy. It's upside down, man. And it shows you that the whole head is sick. Okay. First, excuse me, I said first. Sorry about that. Isaiah 1:23. Your leaders are rebels, the companions of thieves. All of them love bribes and demand playoffs, but they refuse to defend the cause of orphans or fight for the rights of widows. Therefore, Yahweh, remember that's the true name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is, right? The Yahweh of heaven's armies, the mighty one of Israel says, I will take revenge on my enemies and pay back my foes. And this is what He's going to do. This is what He has done to us. This is why we're such in a dilapidated state, because He took vengeance on us. All right, and another form of vision is coming, right? Which is the time of Jacob's trouble. These tears and things of that nature, which is going to increase food prices, right? This is going to be very, very, detrimental to a lot of households. People out there are already using credit as a way to get groceries. There's a substantial amount of people out there, and most of these people get behind when it comes to credit, right? When it comes to paying it. So what do you think is going to happen when this food out here get more expensive? On top of, you had Trump proposing to cut SNAP or food stamp funding. A lot of people are going to be in straits. Okay, right? And the reason why is because look at our people, man. Look at the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Right? The head tribe is the so-called Negro. Look at Jake, man. People have been saying that they have so-called black fatigue. Well, this is something that the prophets have always articulated. The prophets have always been tired of the niggas. It's like we are tired of niggas. Are tired of niggas. We're not niggas. Excuse my language, but tired of niggas. You know what I'm saying? Because the wicked, wicked as all get out. Okay? This turn to very disgusting and lewd people, bro. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American woman, man, is completely out of order and against her man. You know what I'm saying? Fat, sloppy. You got Issachar, the so-called Mexican out here, man. How they be looking is atrocious. It's a damn shame. It's like, homegirl, you need to tuck your stomach in. It's just all over the place, man. And the pride is at an all-time high. Whether it be male or female. The males have a very feminine spirit on them. Very feminine. You got transgenders everywhere, popping up everywhere. You little kids, dumb and fat as all get out. See one boy about 11 years old, nigga with 300, down there 300 pounds, as big as all get out. Lazy as all get out. I'm pulling into a neighborhood, and you got this little girl, Judah. It had to be 13 years old, 300, 2:45. You know what I'm saying? With some pajama pants on. No sense of urgency in these kids. Just living a life of decadence and meaningless. Right? Don't believe in the higher power. Eat and consume everything. Right? You know. It's for the agenda. These young kids are through, man. But you could blame that on their parents. Right? And you could blame that on the culture that our people, abide by. Okay? Urban culture, which is really the creation of our enemy, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. But yet, that's another topic. Let's go to Isaiah 1 and 4. I'm going to read this in the KJV. It says, all sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backwards. Our people have turned away from the Heavenly Father with their wickedness. Our people are laden with iniquity. That means they're covered in wickedness. Right? Like you're cooking something and you laden it, you know what I'm saying, with a nice sauce. That's how people are. People are covered in wickedness, man. Right? You become disgusting human beings here in Babylon the Great. Right? With the help of Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, ultimately it's the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay, but look at our people, man. Our people, are scumbags, man. It's a shame. It's shameful to say, but it's the truth. Okay, and despite what the Lord has done to us, and is doing to us, our people have refused to turn back to the Heavenly Father. Okay, as Isaiah 1 and 5. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. And this is the point. The whole head is sick, from the top onto the bottom. Our people are perverse. Okay, very, very wicked group of people. From the sole of the feet even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores that have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So you look at our people are in a very broken state. And you could tell by how broken their relationships are within the culture of our people, man. There should be no baby daddies and baby mamas. You would think the two people who want to get along the most is somebody having a child with one another. Well, that's not the case. There's actually a term now of a broken family, right? There's terms now for a broken family. Baby mama, baby daddy, right? Side piece, side nigga. Okay, people, do all types of lewdness, sexually speaking. Adultery is number one. You got girl on girl. You got boy and boy. You got guys sleeping with guys and females. You got females sleeping with guys and men. Then you got the stud in the mix. There's just all types of madness going on, man. Right? All types of wickedness. Okay? So this thing is of ours, and what we are proclaiming is bigger than just, we got to come together as so-called minorities and get our paper up. No, we're here to tell you that we need to turn back. First and foremost, turn back to the Heavenly Father, right? And then we'll understand how we're supposed to live, i.e., what is our culture and what it all pertains. Okay, that's how we are going to ultimately overcome and reign, and that's not going to happen until Yahweh returns, who the word England called Jesus. He's going to return to save the remnant of the nation of Israel. And all the nation of Israel is going to have the law, statute, and commandments written in the inward part. Now, on this side, however, there's only going to be an elect that's going to understand, Yahweh by Yeshem Yahweh Shai's